Hey all, I'm Rohn Strong for Annie's Creative Studio, and welcome to this Crochet Skill Builders Roll Stitch Afghan Crochetalong. For the next few weeks, we'll be crocheting this gorgeously textured Roll Stitch Afghan. Along the way, we'll stitch through 6 different motifs, each featuring a different take on this fun 3-dimensional stitch. If you're a member of Annie's Creative Studio, go ahead and download and print the pattern to follow along. Let's talk about materials real quick. I chose to crochet this Afghan in Premier Yarn's Everyday Soft Worsted. It's a great 100% anti-pilling acrylic that will look great with age. So I chose a great palette of this kind of lilac color, this mist gray color, and this cream color. But you shouldn't feel confined to choose the same colors that I did. Choose colors that fit you and that fit your space. Let's focus on the crochet hooks. So we have 2 crochet hooks that we need to use, an F5 3.75 millimeter and a 7 4.5 millimeter hook. So it's important to keep in mind a couple things. Number one, with the size 7 hook, it's a 4.5 millimeter. Focus on the millimeter, not so much the number 7. The second thing to keep in mind is you'll notice I have 2 kinds of crochet hooks here. I have a standard crochet hook with a thumb rest, and I have what's called an inline crochet hook without a thumb rest. You're going to want to choose a crochet hook that does not have a thumb rest. If you're struggling to find some crochet hooks that are inline, that don't have the thumb rest, the easiest thing that I found is to purchase a set of Denise interchangeable crochet hooks. While these are meant for Tunisian crochet, they actually work really, really well with the roll stitch just because of the number of yarn overs that we do to complete the stitch. So those are a great option. The last material that you're going to need is a tapestry needle. That's just to kind of wrap things up, to seam everything together. Now that we're finished with materials, let's move on. So now we're going to go ahead and start working our roll stitch. I've already got a little swatch here going, and all I've done is chained 16, and I'm finishing up my second row of single crochet. So chain 16, work 1 row of single crochet, and then work another row of single crochet. Just finishing it up. This is just kind of going to give us our base for working the roll stitch. Now at the end of that second row of single crochet, I'm going to chain 3. That's going to count as my double crochet for the next couple of rows. Like I said, I want you to kind of keep doing this again and again. So when anytime you're going to work one of the roll stitch rows, go ahead and chain 3. So we're going to skip that first single crochet because our chain 3 counts as a stitch. And then in the next single crochet, we're going to work a roll stitch. So to work our roll stitch, we're going to begin by wrapping our yarn around our hook 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Insert our hook into the stitch and yarn over and pull up a loop and stop there. The reason I say stop there is because I really want you to take a look at your loops. Are they loose enough? Can your crochet hook move back and forth uninhibited? If it can, we're going to move on to the next step. So I like to yarn over my hook, and I'm going to use my middle finger and my thumb to pinch and just hold on to where my first couple of loops are. Now you'll notice I'm not tensioning my yarn very tight, just kind of letting it flow and do its thing. I'm going to pull my hook back through, and I'm going to make sure that the hook of the head of my crochet hook is pointed down. And I'm just going to rock my crochet hook back and forth and pull through. Now I'm going to give myself some slack here and just make sure that yarn can move through. And that's 1 completed roll stitch. I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And so you're going to have this long kind of line there. That's totally fine. You want that. In our next stitch, we're going to work a double crochet. So kind of give yourself a little bit of a break with the double crochet. and then let's work a roll stitch again. So wrapping around, being very loose with your tension. In fact, I would even say let go of your yarn for just this little bit and wrap it around your hook very loosely. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Insert my hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Now yarn over the hook and rocking your hook back and forth, pull through all of those loops. Pull up, kind of let everything get settled, pull through, and then you're done. So let's work a double crochet into the next stitch. And let's do a roll stitch one more time. Then I'm going to switch to a different crochet hook and show you why I kind of like working with this inline crochet hook the best. So yarn over 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, rocking the hook back and forth, yarn over and pull through. Give yourself some slack, chain 1. There you go. You can already see I'm starting to get these nice little roll stitches going on. So if I were to switch, let's say to my crochet hook with my rubber grip, I need to work my next double crochet, and I would wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how just 6 yarn overs is taking up a lot of the hook there. I don't advise that when you're working the large roll stitches that have like 20 wraps. So then we insert our hook into the next stitch, and then again we're going to rock back and forth. And I never can really get it with these kind of hooks. Of course, when I tell you I can't get it, I do that time. So, but you can see that my tension is a little bit tighter with this crochet hook. It's not as loose, and even when I'm pulling the yarn through, I can feel a little bit of a drag. So let's try our standard aluminum crochet hook. So I've worked my double crochet, and now let's go on to working our roll stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Insert and pull up. And with these, I can't rock it as much. And so then it just doesn't work. See, I'm having a really tough time with this crochet hook. So let's try that one more time. Even the experts have trouble sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Insert, pull up a loop. Let me see if I can get it all the way through. I can't. Nope, and it fell off. So if it ever kind of falls off there like it did with me, I just pull my hook all the way out and drop the loops. So let's take my inline crochet hook again. 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Insert, yarn up, rock it back and forth. Look how easy that is. That's why I love working with the inline crochet hooks on this Afghan. It's just so incredibly easy. So now that you know how to work the roll stitch, I want you to repeat this process. So continue across the row. You should have 15 stitches if you chain 16, and work your chain 3 at the beginning, and then your roll stitch double crochet all the way across the row. And then you'll chain 1 and single crochet back, and then chain 3, work that pattern all the way across. And just do that again and again and again until you are so incredibly comfortable with working the roll stitches that you feel like you are confident. You can kind of go on and start working the motifs. Next week, we're going to be working the picket fence motif, which is one of my favorites in the book. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Rohn Strong for Annie's, and make sure you go like the Annie's Creative Studio Facebook page. Share your photos of your roll stitch or any of the other projects that you make with Annie's Creative Studio, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.